Okay, I'm working on these SNS heads. These are Evo heads. So I think these are off of 113 or something. So anyway, I've been working on them for the last few days, off and on. Interruptions. So basically the SNS head has decent sized ports and shape's good. So you're not doing a lot of major changes, but you're doing a lot of fine tuning, which takes a lot of time. So did a lot of unshrouding around here, which you can see on this one. I haven't blended it yet. So after you unshroud with the valve job, then you go ahead and knock it down with the burrs here, knock off the sharper edges here. You kind of blend these areas right in here. Obviously down in here you can see where I cut the inside throat out bigger, and now we got to blend this all into the port up underneath in here, which would be this side on this side. So you can see the dull areas up under here where you don't do a lot of cutting. Actually, those are shiny areas. Dull areas where you didn't cut, shiny areas are where you did cut. So did a lot of reshaping up underneath. So just a lot of, basically you're taking off these transitional areas in here, making nice radiuses through here. So that's what you're trying to do. See how this one's nice and radiused in. This side over here, you can see the same thing when you're working on it. It's already cut too much underneath on most of this than what I like, so we don't really do much cutting there. We just kind of knock off the sharp edges. This is basically a big low spot right here. Cut too much. This one here's got a little more radius to it, so I'll be able to do more blending with this one. This one here is cut deeper, or cast deeper I should say. So you got to work what you got to work with. The exhaust, you can see I opened it up quite a bit, and when we got down the bowl we're getting more closer. So you can go in here and open this up here, do a lot of opening up down through here. Where's my pointer at? Down through here you open this whole area up here, so you got a nice large area to flow through. So these ones in here, it's hard to see these areas, but you're going to open all these up through here a little bit. Not major, but it, you know, a little bit makes a difference. So you do it on both sides, just kind of clean them up so the seat just goes straight down. If you didn't cut this areas away, it would come back in on you. So you defeated the purpose of putting the bigger valve in there, basically. So over here we put the D away a little bit, most of it, not all of it. Did a lot of reshaping on the side of the car. There, put that one on that one, this one over here. So this is what you got initially, is this big hump they stuck in here. And you get the constipated right up under here. The air doesn't want to go through. It's this big wall up under here, basically. So you go in there and knock that out, knock the hump out, and blend it to a nice large radius. So you make this a nice large radius all through here. So when you come through with your finger, up into here, it's a nice radius coming up under here, as much tall as you can make it. And you blend in the sides through here. So it's a nice even transition all through here. Cutting the rest of D here doesn't gain anything, so you leave it. You know, the air is getting bigger as it comes around. The restriction is the top of the hump right up over here. So once you just have a little bit of a negative angle coming out, you're fine. You don't need to cut all the way down the gasket surface. So that leaves a little bit of a reversion hump there, but that's what you're after. From this side, the airline's in the way. Let's see, turn this around and see what we did. So from this angle, you can see how this is a lot more radiused through here going around the back side, where this one here, see it's really deep right here in the center, and then it's real low on the sides. You want this to be more of an equal area so it flows more evenly. So that's what I did. I opened it up here so it's more even. It's still slightly higher right in the center, but it's got a nice shape to it going around. You can roll your finger around here real nice and cleanly. Your finger's not being jammed between the guide and the port right here. It's a little bit tighter through here. See how my finger gets in the way of it right there? Versus this way here. See, it's a little more clearance to it. So let's see here. You gotta give the area a spot for the air to get through pretty good. So that's what we're doing. It's a lot of fine tuning, but not massively changes. Here's my scribe mark, so you can see how it's pretty close along most of the edges here. A little bit more cutting right here, which means this whole wall in here gets cut away. because you don't want to just have it go in like that and then like that and then back around like that. You want it to go straight. So you can see how this is going straight all the way down right now, all the way down. Same on this one, it goes straight in. So when you run your finger down here, it's a nice straight surface. It's not a bunch of waves. It's hard to get all those waves out, but you just keep working on the high spots and eventually it gets smooth. That's what you're after, straight linear airflow. If you got a bunch of waves like my workbench where you're going up and down over all these low spots over here, see up and down over the waves, it doesn't help the airflow. So we also cut the tongue out of this one. Now what the hell that's supposed to do? It's gone now. So now the air can go in. Same deal on the other side. You have a little bit of a radius. This isn't quite as high as the other side, but you want the air to go up through here. I'm not sure what the theory was. It was supposed to line up with the guide, but it's not even square to the guide, so what the hell is it really doing? I don't know. You know, if you want it to be straight, if it's going to actually help the flow with the guide, it would be in line with the guide. It's not. It's over here, so I don't know. It's more in line with the... Yeah, I don't know what it's lining with. It's not in line with anything. It's just, it's there. You know, it should be straight like that if it's going to do anything, but basically it's just a restriction. It splits the ports into two airflows, which I guess is what they're trying to accomplish, but in the real world, I don't think it helps any. So, anyway, I knock them out, make them nice even radiuses and all that. So that's basically in a nutshell what we do. The exhaust, you can see I got a lot of real deep undercut here from the cutter they use, so I knock off a lot of that so it's not so deep. A little blending, so it opens up the chamber a little bit by doing that, but it helps the airflow, so we sacrifice compression for airflow. So, alright, so I'm going to go and look on this a little bit. I'm going to stop and show you exactly what I'm doing all the way, but you kind of get an idea of what we're doing. So we knock out the heavy stuff pretty quickly, and then after that it takes an hour or two to blend it and make it nice and smooth. So, now that I did one hit, I know what I'm doing. Of course, I did it over the last 3 days, but oh well. Gives us something to go by, right? Let's see, that's all the way blown up or out. Okay. So first thing I do is get your holding tool. That's how you hold it. You need some way of holding the head so you can work on it. This works good. Alright. So like on most things you do, you go from the worst, cut out the worst stuff first. Then you can blend in the easy stuff later. So I'm just going to lightly cut this here to blend this in a little bit. And just get my basic shape in there. If there's any heavy cutting to be done, we're going to do it right now. The hardest thing on a second hit is overcutting. You think you know how much you cut, but in the real world you get into too aggressive and you cut more easily. Which does not help port flow at all. Okay, we're going to use the valve seat as a guide here to make it round. You hear the valve bowl getting dug in. The light on the back side of the port, you can see the port better. I use the valve seat as a guide because the seat's steel, doesn't cut too much, the aluminum behind it does. Give yourself a straight angle or a light negative angle. Okay, this valve bowl is pretty constipated in here, so I'm going to go with a bigger cutter. See how I blended it in right here real quick and easy. You can see I just cut it out to the seat diameter. Where'd my pointer go? Keep using my tools. Yeah, I did something with it. There it is. So I cut up to about this point here, just blending like this. Knocked off the sharp edge and left it at that point. You don't want to overcut that too much. That will kill the airflow when you make this too sharp through here. So this is a little bit small through here, so we use a little bit bigger cutter, a little bit coarser cutter. So coming in with this one, see on the exhaust it's a little bit on the small side, clearance wise, so this is too big. So where's my smaller one at? It's around here somewhere. There it is. So you come on with this one here and cut it with this one, so you can get in there better. But this also will dig in more, so you gotta be careful. The larger the diameter, the cutter, or longer, the smoother, straighter surface you'll get. The more of a ball you got, the more you put dimples everywhere. We're trying not to dimple anything. But we'll. Get a cutter when I dig in heavy. Alright, shows what we're doing right now. Shows a little bit of a ledge right here that I'm cutting away. Blend it from there to here. Low spot, high spots where you cut away. So you try to make this to be a nice long radius going through here. Do not cut up in here for now. Just try to blend this to smooth. And you want this to come up nice and even, nice graceful radius from here all the way down. So it's a nice even bowl. That's why we're opening this up a little bit. This side over here, see it's already cut away a little bit. Factory, so you don't have to do anything. I'll probably just knock this corner off right here a little bit though. But we'll see. Size of the cutter kind of dictates what you're going to do. So, okay, a little bit bigger bowl, but not too much bigger. There's a difference now. Making this kind of a bowl shape through here. Starting to get a little bit of a hole going right there, more than I want. But see, this goes pretty. You watch the welding rod. See how it doesn't go up and over like this. It goes straight. That's what you're looking for. Straight in, straight out. So you want anything to be a radius or a straight edge. This direction here, you see it's not bouncing, it goes up, doesn't go up like that, it goes straight. There's not a big hole there, even though it looks like there's a hole. It's maybe just slightly, but not right there is a little dimple. But it's pretty straight and even. Okay, now over here, I haven't gone over and done this side yet. So now we're coming from the other hill. Let's move that up just a little bit. We're going to blend it from this side now and knock this area, this right here out of here, this area right here. So that's what you got to knock out. Just working sections. That's all you got to do. Get the angle a little bit better so it looks good where you're at. You got to be comfortable where you're at. Knock out the valve guide boss first. constipated through that side of the port. So the first thing I did, I knocked out the guide boss right here. And I start cutting down a little bit. Then I come over here and blend it over to here. Take out the sidewall a little bit there. And start cutting over here a little bit. This is a lot smaller through here than it is on this side. See how big it is on this side? See how small it is on this side? So this area through here can be opened up. So see how big this cutter is right here? See over here how loose it is over here? So if you go up to a little bit bigger of a cutter, see the cutter shape will cut where it is. See how it cuts the boss way up on top? So this will help you a little bit, but you gotta be careful. You don't want to put it too deep. It helps to look at it from the other side and see what you're actually doing. So we don't get too carried away. Now let's go see what we did on this other side. I don't think I opened it up that much on this one. Yeah, see I didn't. So it is opened up through here. That's the tight spot. See, I did have this going through there though. So on that side and this side over here. See, we got room on both sides. So I did open it up a little bit because I don't like tight spots. I like things flowing more evenly. I like more equal flow on both sides of the guide and through the bowl. Things naturally want to be equal, so make it that way. It works better. You gotta be real careful about cutting too much by doing this though. It's real easy to cut too much. Back and cut the other side. Made a big difference on that too. Okay, so I've been cutting it out a lot bigger. I don't know where my pointer went to. Got a new pointer. Okay, so obviously I've been doing a lot of cutting all through here. This whole area here I did a lot of cutting. I went deeper. So it's more even. It's all straight right through here. So from way back over here to here now it's pretty straight. That's what you want. There's no big hole putting in here, but I made it all rounded all through here. So I didn't cut the short side up here. You want to stay away from this area up here. You can see I just barely touched it. I didn't go up into it. See, stop. Now over here, I actually went a little bit deeper through here and widened it right through on this side, right in here. So now it's more straight in there. because it was getting a little bit restricted here. It was open way up here, but right in here, where the air first goes in, it was restricted. So now it's more equal like this one. I'll still do a little more fine tuning on both sides. Alright, so you can see how much more open it is. Even though we made the hole a little bit bigger here, around the whole valve bowl it's opened up a lot bigger. And then around the valve guide it opens up a lot. That's where the restrictions are at. And I've been using my nice roughing file to be my smooth surface. Now you can leave it right there, it runs really good. That's probably 95% of everything it gets right now is there. And maybe 90. Probably 90%. So now we go in there and do a little fine tuning and hopefully pick up the rest of it. Get the last 5 to 10% of it. Takes longer now. So I use the seat as the guide to see where I'm at size-wise. You notice this isn't digging into the aluminum anymore. You hear it rubbing on the steel all the way around. So I got the basic size of the port good. So I didn't really do much of anything with that. It looks all about the same. Little surface, I got some titties cut down a little bit, about it. So I just went around the seat. So the bowl and the seat are even now. So now I can go in and do a little fine tuning. Change the cutter angle. Now you'll feed it in deeper. So now instead of just following the seat at an angle, I'm going to go into the port. A little deeper in. As you come out, you radius it out. Now we got a little radius up under here where I blended it under there. The port I didn't do nothing, it was already done. Same on this side, up underneath I radius it just slightly. Very light blend right in here. That's about it, everything else is size good. Shut off for a minute. So it looks like I got about 98% of my cutting was done with that rough cutter. So now I'm going to go in here on my smoothing one. This is a nice dull one. And I'll go in here and just do a little smoothing. Make the surface a little bit smoother. And if there's any little high spot areas I don't like, this will get in there a little deeper. It's a lot smaller than this one, see? So I get a couple of areas and knock off some other stuff possibly. Nice shape. See, that roughing job I did was pretty good. You get a lot of moving. It doesn't hurt you, see? Yeah, it's dull. So this is more polishing. So we're just doing a lot of smoothing, and when you got the cut, you got little facets in there. We're trying to smooth the facets off with this. I don't use sandpaper or drums. I don't like sanding. This will cut if you push on it hard enough, but not really. It kind of smears it. It's so dull it barely does anything, which is perfect for what we're doing right now. Shaped real nice. Yep. Your pinkies work really good for going around corners and stuff. So you can really flow them in there real nice. See on my hand I kind of wobble, I roll it in there. Let the finger kind of follow all into the port. You can feel all the different angles and stuff real easy. Alright, so you can see how it's nice and radius. See it's a little bit smoother, shinier with the light on it. We knocked off the high spots on the grind marks. We didn't go any deeper, we just made the texture a little smoother. And straighten out any little waves that might have been in there. There wasn't much in there. Alright, so that's pretty damn nice now. So now we got to flip it around and do the other side. Blend it into that back half. And hopefully whatever we did here we didn't screw up on the other side. That's the problem, it's too much work from one side. So now we got to look at this, see. We also have not done anything on the short side over on this side of the head. So we can go in here and work on this a little bit. I'm going to hit it from this side. I kind of know what I just got done doing, so. Yeah, maybe that low. Ah. All right. Get out of my way. Camera's in my way, damn it. What a shocker. Okay, so now we're going to work on the short side up over on this side. So this is a lot deeper and taller than this one. So this has all been radiused around. This has a big hump it right here. See, my finger doesn't want to go through there. Where on this one here, see it goes right around. Doesn't really dig into the guide. This one here I kind of get in there. Digs in a little bit. So I'm going to knock this down a little bit from the back this side. And I'm going to use these roughing ones here to get in there and do this. So we just knock off the high spot to make it more flat. Right now it goes up in a hump. We'll knock the hump down and then we can bring it back a little bit and blend it in. But we do not want to be cutting over here or over here, especially here. This is way too short in here. It's already been overcut. This one here we still got a nice radius going around like we want. Over here the edge is pretty well, that's right at the limit of being too sharp. There's a flat spot right there. So that's built in by the original head. So, alright, so that's what we're going to do. A little light down here, I'm not going to see it there. Not really, this just sucks for light. Most of this is pretty much just going to by feel anyway. So you want to stand this up as much as you can. I think I can go to a bigger cutter. So the bigger the cutter you use, the better. Perfect. Pretty dark in there. So I can size pretty good with my rough bits. So you can see how the shape is kind of in there now. It's still a little tight against the finger at the very top, but not too bad. It flows in there halfway deep and you dig in at the very top. Because it's still got the big hump on the other side. Okay, now I'm going to come in here in my other cutter. This one and size it to the seat so I can see where I'm actually at right now. Then we can go with the other side, do some more cutting over there, and then we'll come back. We go back and forth, that way we won't cut too much off that top side. Having a tall hump actually helps you, but within reason. It plugs up the port, it don't help you. guide just got thinner. This is too big to go in between the two surfaces at the angle I had. Close enough for now. So you can see how it's getting more radius in there now. See how my finger goes in there a little better. I did neck the guide on top though, so it does help my finger go in a little bit better. Okay, so you can see I didn't really cut too much right there. Barely blended it, not hardly touching it. Same on this side, staying off. You can see the original low spots are still in there. Trying to stay off that area as much as I can for now. And we're trying to make this a nice tall long radius on the back side, but it's a little bit tall still, but I gotta go on the other side and see where I'm at. I'm working on the back side of a mount where I can't see what I'm doing. So that's basically where we're at on that. So we're gonna flip it over and do the other side. Let's go at it.